I'm pretty happy to admit that I have been heavily inspired by Hades in recent times. So in today's video, we're going to look at how to make a camera follow script similar to the game Hades. This whole project is completely open source, so if you want to grab the code, you can find it linked in the Git repo down below. Let's chat about our setup. I have a main camera whose position only matters in the y-axis, which determines its height. We'll control the x and z axis from our camera follow script. And we also care about its rotation, which is slightly rotated on the x-axis so that the camera looks downward at the player. And then we have our actual player, which our camera follow script is going to use the transform of as its target. We'll need to create a C# script and call it something useful like main camera. We'll then drag it into our camera game object. In our main camera script, we're going to need to create some fields. We'll need one to keep track of the target transform, which will be the position of the player. We'll need a float, which will determine the speed at which our camera will follow its target. We'll need a distance for the x and z axis, because in this scenario, we only want to move the camera in the x and z axis. We're not too worried about the height. And then we'll need a small threshold, which will clamp the value so that it won't constantly move as it gets closer to the player. In the update function, we'll need to compute the distance from the player to the camera on the x and z axes. We'll then create a new position vector, which will be set to the current position for now. We'll also need to check if the current distance compared to the desired distance is greater than our threshold. We only need to move the camera if that's true. Next, we'll check if the current x position is greater than the desired follow distance. If so, we'll need to move left, otherwise we can move right. Likewise, we'll do a similar check on the z-axis, but if the current distance is greater than the desired follow distance, we'll move backwards, otherwise we'll move forward. And finally, we'll lerp the position of the camera to the newly determined position. We'll use our speed multiplied by the time as our lerp factor. Now we can drag our player into the target transform. We'll set our speed as 1 to start with, and an x follow distance of 0 with a z follow distance of around -7 for now, as we want the camera to be behind the player. We'll leave the follow move threshold at around 0.02. I find that works pretty well. Now it's really just about tweaking these values so you get something you actually like. If you reduce the Z follow distance by even more, you'll see the camera move further away from the player. Same with the X follow distance. If you move it lower or higher, the camera will move left or right accordingly. I think a follow speed of 1 is a little bit too slow, but again, this really just depends on the feel you're going for. I think a speed of around 3 works pretty well for my use case. So I'll probably leave it at that. And if you guys have any comments or feedback, let me know down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.